It's Wednesday, October 1st.
It's 35 cents. It's not huge. And frankly, if it makes all the difference in the world to employees who are facing their own affordability challenges, I think generally speaking, businesses thought that was okay.
Saskatchewan's minimum wage goes up 35 cents today. What experts say the impact will be on you or your business.
Has chosen to shut down the government over a clean, nonpartisan funding bill.
Their bill, they call it clean, we call it totally partisan.
Blame game is on as the U.S. government is now shut down for the first time in 6 years.
Well, why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state, and you get it for free. But it is.
U.S. President Donald Trump circles back again to the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, great temperatures yesterday. Man, you brought the heat.
Still feeling very warm today. Not really getting cool until the weekend.
Oh boy. Good day to stay inside and watch some playoff baseball. Let's get to your news. We begin with this. If you make minimum wage, you are getting a raise today. The province has increased the minimum wage to $15.35 an hour. That puts Saskatchewan ahead of Alberta, who now sits at $15 an hour. The province says it calculates the minimum wage using an index formula that gives equal weight to changes to the consumer price index and the average hourly salary for Saskatchewan. In 2007, the minimum wage here was $7.95. One rural childcare centre says time is running out for the government of Saskatchewan to renew its deal with Ottawa on $10 a day childcare before the current agreement runs up in March. CUPE Saskatchewan says the loss of funding will put some childcare centres at risk of closing due to workers' wages not going up to $9 an hour, along with families not being able to afford care. Childcare Now Saskatchewan, it's an organization, says a deal needs to be signed sooner rather than later as expanding non-for-profit centres are in need across the province.
We are at a crisis for expansion and workforce. We cannot expand if we don't have the workforce, and we need to pay people what they're worth in this province. So that's the other big challenge for this deal, and that's what people are waiting for.
The opposition NDP adds Saskatchewan is one of two provinces in the country who have yet to renew a federal funding agreement that provides $10 a day childcare, Alberta being the other. In a statement to CTV News, the government of Saskatchewan says it is confident a new agreement will be signed prior to the current agreement expiring in March 2026, adding it continues to engage with federal counterparts on signing an extension. Premier Scott Moe is issuing a historic apology to the survivors of the Isle La Crosse residential school. Along with it comes the announcement of a class action lawsuit brought forward by survivors. Hallie Mandrick reports.
It was a historic day for the survivors of the Isle La Crosse residential school, which was open in Saskatchewan until the late 1970s.
Residential, whether it be day or industrial schools, are a shameful mark on Canada's history, with harmful intergenerational impacts on Indigenous and Métis people. Simply put, these schools were a mistake, and they shouldn't have existed.
Premier Scott Moe offered a formal apology on behalf of the province for the abuse many of those who attended the school endured. The province will be paying $40.2 million in restitution to former students and families of those who attended the residential school, intended to promote reconciliation and healing.
Our first day we got here, the second day, they cut our hair. My hair was long. My hair was up to my knees.
Provincial leaders and those impacted by residential schools gathered in Isle La Crosse to hear survivors recount their experiences.
We would watch my mom and dad go across the lake, and it was so lonely being left behind as a child. Very lonely.
And the agenda was simple. Residential school was no different than the First Nation residential school, was to take the culture out of the child. That was the agenda. I couldn't use my name. I had a number given to me.
The money will be spent with guidance from the community to address the various needs recognized in the settlement. This will include efforts in legacy, healing, wellness, education, culture, and commemoration. Those who addressed the room expressed that this apology is an important step towards reconciliation.
You know, an opportunity for us to really look at, you know, if we're truly going to work together as we move forward. And as Minister Belanger said, that is rooted in trust. And that conversation will continue to happen as we go through the next number of days, weeks, and months.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Several events happening in Regina yesterday for Canada's National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. That includes sharing the story of the Serenity Blanket display, a Merle Buffalo project. They say it presents memories and stories that have been suppressed over the years.
I'm living proof that these atrocities did happen. So when they look at my blanket, I hope they have the courage and, you know, the strength to go on that journey that I'm on. Because that's the only way you're going to have peace and happiness in your heart and in your life.
There was also a walk in honor of the day in the city's downtown. Let's bring in Jeremy Dodge this morning and take us through a look at what happened in your city, JD.
Yeah, Daryl, those in the Saskatoon area took the opportunity to highlight the importance of keeping Indigenous culture alive for future generations. Saskatchewan Heritage Centre shared a variety of free teachings. One of the main themes of the day was keeping language and culture alive on the land it originates from. This was done through storytelling, song, dance, and tours of the Heritage Centre.
Germans can go back to Germany, can learn their culture. English can go back to England. You know, the Chinese go back to China. That's their homelands. Here, once it dies, our languages, our culture, our songs, our dances, our ceremonies, then there's no place to go. This is it.
Wallace Oasis is part of the Survivors Circle, which offers support and resources to residential school survivors. Now, Indigenous dancers from across Canada and even the United States gathered at Saskatchewan's largest Reconciliation Day powwow in Saskatoon. About 800 dancers took the stage for the Saskatoon Tribal Council's Every Child Matters powwow in honor of reconciliation. Jerry Cleland came from Detroit, Michigan to dance. Cleland is Chippewa from the Saginaw Swan Creek and Black River Band. He says it's interesting to see different styles of dance north of the border and share his culture at this powwow.
We don't have the reconciliation in the States right now, so, you know, Canada's doing an excellent job. This is where we learn about who we are. You know, like I say, we're all sharing with each other. As Native people, we're sharing who we are.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe was in attendance, walking alongside Saskatoon Tribal Chief Mark Arcan, who says seeing Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people come together is a key part of reconciliation. All right, Daryl, back to you. A person injured after a collision in Regina.
Yeah, one injured in Regina after a driver hit a pedestrian on Dudney Avenue. This happened around 10:30 Tuesday morning in the Dudney Avenue and Rupert Street area. Traffic was rerouted for several hours. The investigation into this is ongoing. No word yet on any charges. There is a planned outage at the Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant today. The outage is scheduled to begin at 7 o'clock this morning. Should last about 12 hours. The planned outage is part of ongoing construction at the facility. Capacity in the Moose Jaw reservoirs will allow water to continue service uninterrupted. A second outage is planned for October 7th. Both the Jays and Yankees are taking steps to pack their stands with their own fans during the playoffs. Keep in mind, we don't yet know who the Jays are playing. For the ALDS, the Yankees are limiting ticket sales to people living in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. Meanwhile, the Jays are only selling tickets to people with Canadian and billing addresses. If the Jays take on the Red Sox, it doesn't look like Fenway Park is restricting sales. Game 1 of the ALDS is Saturday in Toronto.
Yoshida sends one to center field. Rafaela's going to come in. Sogard to the plate.
The Boston Red Sox got a 2-run hit in the 7th and added some insurance in the 8th as they beat the New York Yankees 3-1 in Game 1 of the AL wildcard. It's a best of 3. Garrett Crochet struck out 11 through 7. Game 2 goes at 4 o'clock our time today. The winner, of course, does play the Jays in the ALDS. I was mesmerized by that. I need heart medication to get through those games. I'm a Red Sox fan.
I know. You were messaging me last night. I was watching Dancing with the Stars. You said, I can't watch.
When do I have time
the game.
to watch all of these things?
I know. Yeah, too much great programming on the TV these days. Let's get on over to the Weather Center, though. We're talking about some pretty nice temperatures to start the day. 9 degrees in Regina. The sun not quite up yet. We're going to see that sun up in the air in Regina and Saskatoon by about the 7 o'clock mark. 12 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon, though, so temperatures looking really nice today. What we are going to be continuing to talk about today, though, is those wind gusts. The radar and satellite showing that we did get some precipitation mainly around the western portion of the province yesterday evening and into those overnight hours. But later on into the afternoon today, we're really just talking about most of that rain falling way up north. And then, as you can see, some areas right around Assiniboia there along the border going to be getting just a little bit of precipitation today too. That's going to push off down in the south though, but continue to fall up in the north all throughout the afternoon into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning as well. Here's a look at those wind gusts for your afternoon. We're seeing the strongest wind gusts over in Swift Current this afternoon. Regina also could be seeing them just over 40 kilometers per hour, and Saskatoon could be seeing them just up to the high 30s and into the low 40s. Today's forecast in terms of that temperature, though, looking really nice. Regina up to 25 degrees today, Yorkton up to 24, Saskatoon 23, Prince Albert up to 22, and Battleford's up to 19 degrees. And with that wind, and again, just a little bit of precipitation, you can see that rain icon in Moose Jaw there. It's going to be mainly a mix of sun and cloud for most places across the province, though. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Regina. You can see some pretty nice temperatures until the weekend. 24 degrees tomorrow, 21 on Friday, mainly cloudy skies, but we could be seeing some late afternoon rain on Friday as well, and that's going to carry us into the weekend. Temperature dropping to about 17 degrees on Saturday. You do see that rain icon on Saturday and Sunday. The higher chance of getting that rain is actually on Sundays, so it's about a 30% chance on Saturday and about a 40% chance on Sunday. On Monday, temperature is going to be around 14 degrees and 11 degrees on Tuesday as we see that sun come back into the picture. In Saskatoon today, we mentioned that high up to about 23 degrees, dropping to 21 degrees for both Thursday and Friday. 15 degrees on Saturday, but we're not seeing that expected precipitation as much on Saturday. Just on Sunday in Saskatoon in the morning, we could be seeing some of that rain on our radar right now. High of 10 degrees on Sunday. In the afternoon should be we should be seeing that rain clearing up, seeing that mix of sun and cloud carrying us into your next work week.
Washing hands and highly touched surfaces are two keys to keeping viruses and other illnesses from spreading. But some of the cleaning supplies in your home can be dangerous if used the wrong way.
The nonprofit Environmental Working Group found that more than 2,000 cleaning products in the United States might contain chemicals linked to asthma, cancer, and chemical burns.
The CDC says in most situations, cleaning alone with soap and water can remove most germs on surfaces. However, if someone in your home has been sick or a person who recently visited had an illness, the agency says properly diluted bleach can effectively kill germs. But take these steps for safety. Use regular, unscented household bleach that contains between 5 to 9% sodium hypochlorite. If it's laundry laundry or splashless bleach, it may not be appropriate for disinfection, so make sure it's in that percentage range. Never mix household bleach or any other disinfectant with other cleaners or disinfectants. This can release vapors that can be dangerous to breathe in. Make sure you have good ventilation, for example, open windows. Check the label to see if you need to wear protective equipment like gloves or eye protection, and follow directions on the bottle to prepare a diluted bleach solution. You can also check if your other cleaners are safe.
Next time you need to replace something, spend a minute looking for this: the EPA's Safer Choice label, or checking their online database.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, an Ottawa grandmother is ready to leap into her 75th year. That's Linda Wood. She decided to skydive to mark her 75th birthday, but it wasn't just for the fun of it either. Wood has been volunteering for Hospice Care Ottawa for the past 12 years. So far, she's raised more than $7,000 for the organization. 3 of her granddaughters also joined her for the Sky High celebration. Would you do it?
Oh, to jump out of a perfectly good plane, Jeremy? You?
Yeah, I have. I've done it. I did it years ago, and it's highly recommended. It is an unbelievable, indescribable feeling. Not for everybody, though.
Yeah. Well, she could do it at 75. I think I should probably be able to. Yeah.
My great aunt did it at 80.
80?
Yeah, and there's video proof of that. Yep.
Darn, awesome. Question of the day is where we go to next.
Yeah, so we're asking you a really fun one today. If your life had a theme song, what would it be? Jeremy, do you have one?
Thong Song, Cisco.
No, that's my least favorite song. We talked about this in our last question of the day. What is a song that makes you turn the channel? And that is mine.
Sorry.
No.
I'm trying to think. We've had hand, foot, and mouth disease going through our children, so I'm trying to think of something that relates to getting healthy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
Hand, foot, and mouth. How do you describe that in a song?
Oh, gross. Yeah, gross. I don't know. So that's what I'll come up with something that relates to that.
Okay. Mine, like my head immediately this morning just went to like Walking on Sunshine, because I feel like that's always us in the morning.
Look at you. Just having a time.
Yeah, we're having fun here.
Having a time. Text your name and your answer. What song would be the soundtrack of your life? 10400 is the number. Scan the QR code on your screen. Let's take a look outside the beautiful city of Saskatoon. We're back in just a couple of minutes.
Markets are mixed this morning after a U.S. government shutdown began overnight. Funding for federal agencies lapsed beginning at 12:01 a.m. this morning. Some federal services will be halted. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers could be furloughed. A new report says the second quarter of the year brought a sharp rise in credit card fraud. Equifax Canada says the rate of credit card fraud jumped significantly compared to a year earlier. Out of every 10,000 credit cards, about 75 are fraudulent. That's compared with 44 last year. And 5 provinces are increasing their minimum wage today to support workers amid affordability issues. The hikes will apply to Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Alberta is the only province that has not boosted its minimum wage, with its $15 an hour rate now the lowest in Canada. British Columbia, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador raised their minimum wage earlier this year. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Now it's time for your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to the bus right now, we're sitting at about 9 degrees in Regina, 12 degrees in Saskatoon. By lunch, we'll be sitting at about 22 for Regina, just below that 20 degrees expected for that noon hour in Saskatoon. By final bell, we'll be at the expected daytime highs in both cities. For Saskatoon, that's about 23 degrees, and for Regina at about 25 degrees. But keep in mind, those winds will be gusting up to about 40 kilometers per hour this afternoon. And as we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $1.35.9, but you can find regular fuel for as low as $1.14.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $1.35.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.24.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $543.62 per ton, and the futures price at $611.70 per ton. Amber durum wheat at $274.93 per ton this morning, and red spring wheat at $230.75 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.83 cents U.S. Coming up in about a few minutes here, reaction to the increase of Saskatchewan's minimum wage. Stay with us, Saskatchewan.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 6:30. Let's get to your headlines for this part of the hour. Starting today, newborn babies will be offered an additional layer of defense before going home from the hospital, with Saskatchewan joining select other provinces to offer a new immunization. RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, is one of the most common reasons babies are hospitalized during the winter months, often causing bronchitis or pneumonia. It ensures that all parents can protect their newborns from serious lung infections caused by RSV free of charge and with parental consent. The antibody shot is now offered at 17 locations where babies are born in this province.
It's highly effective at preventing severe RSV. So what we've seen in clinical studies and in real-world data is that the risk of severe RSV and hospitalization after nirsevimab goes down by about 90%. And that's over many studies, many different sites.
With so many remote areas in Saskatchewan, the RSV program says the immunization will also free up bed spaces in hospitals. The U.S. government shut down overnight after Senate Democrats refused to back a Republican funding agreement.
Republicans once again rejected Democrats' proposals to avoid a shutdown, fix health care premiums, and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs.
Regardless of the cost, regardless of the consequences to the American people, this truly is a Democrat-owned, Chuck Schumer-owned shutdown.
The shutdown, the first since 2019, will impact a number of U.S. government agencies, including Education, Housing and Urban Development, and the Environmental Protection Agency. National parks will be closed, and immigration court hearings will be delayed. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents will remain on the job, but will not be paid. Both Democrats and Republicans blaming each other for the shutdown. There was no holding back by new U.S. Secretary of War, who summoned hundreds of American military officers to a meeting.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that.
At a meeting with hundreds of top U.S. military officials, Pete Hegseth announced his new directives for troops, including implementing what Hegseth called the highest male standards for all combat roles. He said the era of unprofessional appearance is over, saying there would be no more beardos, and he criticized what he called fat troops and fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. At that gathering of U.S. military officials, U.S. President Donald Trump also spoke, and he brought back talk about making Canada the 51st state.
Canada called me a couple of weeks ago. They want to be part of it. To which I said, well, why don't you just join our country? You become 51.
In that comment, President Trump was referring to his Golden Dome missile defense program, claiming Canada wants to be a part of it. Trump also said Canada is having a hard time with tariffs as investments return to the U.S. Meanwhile, Canadian businesses are reacting to President Trump's latest tariffs.
Where am I going to go? Who am I going to sell to? It does add that little bit of extra stress.
The U.S. president signed an executive order for a 10% tariff on lumber and a 25% tariff on wooden furniture and cabinets. Those tariffs come into effect on October 14th. By January 1st, the cabinet tariff doubles to 50%. The tariff on furniture goes up to 30%. Nigel Wright, who served as the chief of staff for former Prime Minister Stephen Harper, has died at the age of 62. His death was announced by equity firm Onyx, where Wright worked for almost 30 years. Wright served as former Prime Minister Stephen Harper's chief of staff from 2011 to 2013. He resigned over his part in the Senate expense scandal. You'll remember that one? He wrote a $90,000 check personally to cover the former Senator Mike Duffy's expense claims. A state of emergency has been declared in the Philippines province today after a powerful earthquake left at least 69 dead. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck central Philippines late Tuesday. The province of Cebu was the hardest hit, declaring a state of emergency as thousands spend the night outdoors and strong aftershocks. This comes after a week of back-to-back typhoons killing more than a dozen people. 3 beached sperm whales have died after they were stranded along PEI's northern coast.
It is an absolutely heartbreaking decision to have to make in terms of letting nature take its course.
The whales were spotted Saturday night near Hardy's Channel. Now, marine animal experts say the whales were too heavy for humans to move, and the location wasn't safe to bring in equipment. That led to the difficult decision to let nature take its course. For the first time since 2019, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have both a 1,000-yard rusher and receiver.
There's the toss, A.J. Olette across the 50, 45-40, over 1,000 and still counting. A.J. Olette gets it down to the Edmonton 20.
A.J. Olette and Keyshawn Johnson reaching 1,000 yards at their respective positions Saturday night in Saskatchewan's loss to Edmonton. It was the second time Olette has passed the 1,000-yard rushing mark, while for Johnson in his second CFL season, it's his first.
I do. I feel like I'm moving well. I'm seeing the game well, and I'm a little bit older, so I'm communicating what I want and what I'm seeing out there. Yeah, everything's feeling good right now.
It's an accomplishment that all receivers want to hit, and it's something that I was able to do. But my main goal was when I came here was to win games, and get to the last game of the season.
Ranks last.
The last time Saskatchewan had a running back and receiver each at 1,000 yards was 6 years ago. That was William Powell and Shaq Evans. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture. We do have that $20,000 giveaway. The code word is coming up. And you got to remember, folks, do not email that or text that to me. That is not an entry. It's website only. Kayleen, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about the weather first, and then I'm going to give you those instructions for that $20,000 contest. So keep your ears open. 9 degrees in Regina to start our day. The sun is working hard to make its way up fully into the sky. For now, though, we do have just a little bit of cloud cover to wake us up in Regina and in Saskatoon. 12 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon as well. Now, here's a look at the radar satellite. You can see we did get some of that precipitation in the province yesterday, mainly starting in the evening and then into those overnight hours. But as we continue on into later on this morning, we're mainly seeing it way up north with just a little bit, as you can see, that patch down just east of Assiniboia there, south of Regina. By the afternoon, that's going to be pushing off, but we are going to be seeing some more of that precipitation way up north into those overnight hours and into tomorrow morning as well. Now, today's wind gusts showing that we're going to be seeing the strongest winds over in Swift Current today, but really all those areas lighting up in yellow could be seeing them just surpassing 40 kilometers per hour. Areas around Saskatoon there, around Prince Albert, also going to be seeing them up to about 40 kilometers per hour or just below. Today's forecast with that wind in Swift Current, seeing a high of 23 degrees, 19 degrees for the Battlefords, Prince Albert up to 22, down in Weyburn up to 26, and Estevan up to 24 degrees. Your 7-day forecast in Regina looking like the next few days are still going to be very warm. 25 degrees today, 24 on Thursday, and then 21 on Friday. However, Friday, we're seeing that sun start to disappear a little bit. We're going to be seeing mainly cloudy skies, and then some late afternoon rain is likely as well to carry us into Saturday. On Saturday, we also have a chance of seeing some of that rain, but we will be seeing more of that sun on that day as well. But the temperatures will be dropping down out of those 20-degree temperatures. So down to 17 on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday, with the likelihood of that rain continuing continuing on, dropping down to 2 degrees overnight. So you can see our overnight temperatures are starting to drop as well. 14 degrees on Monday with that sun coming right back out, and 11 degrees on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're not seeing quite as much precipitation other than on Sunday. We're expecting to see it just in the morning hours and then pushing off for the afternoon, but we're seeing more of the same in terms of the temperatures. So still staying into those 20-degree temperatures for today, for Thursday, into Friday, and then dropping down on Saturday to about 15 degrees, 10 degrees on Sunday. So it is going to be cooler on the weekend. Back up to 14 on Monday, though, and back up to 15 on Tuesday. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bonus. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Saskatchewan's minimum wage has officially increased up 35 cents to $15.35. It's a modest increase. It puts Saskatchewan, though, ahead of Alberta, which now has the lowest in the country. Brianna Solberg of the Canadian Federation of Independent Business and joins us live this morning. Brianna, first your reaction to the move.
Yeah, well, first of all, when it comes to minimum wage increases, predictability really matters for small businesses. So we appreciate that the government's move to get to $15 an hour was gradual over the years 2022 to 2024. And now this increase to $15.35 was predictable and stable. It's based on that indexation formula. And we appreciate that move. But that doesn't mean that this increase won't have any impacts on small businesses. Small businesses will be forced to adjust to this, and they'll make some changes.
Maybe dive into that impact on business a little more. What exactly does get hurt or impacted by this?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it's a tough time to be a small business right now, right? All of their costs have increased recently, plus they're dealing with economic uncertainty due to the trade dispute, supply chain issues, due to the Postal strike. So they'll have to make tough decisions to adjust to these cost increases. Many of them say when minimum wage increases, they're forced to increase wages for all of their employees, not just those earning the minimum. So everybody gets a bump that becomes costly, and they have to raise their prices to adjust for that. So it creates a bit of an inflationary cycle. You know, they raise prices to accommodate higher wages, and that erodes the value and the purchasing power of those higher wages for employees.
You mentioned predictability. Why does that matter?
Well, just the ability to plan and to know your costs in terms of labor months out is really helpful. Businesses want to be able to predict when they're making their hiring plan, how many staff am I going to be able to bring on at the wage that I want to be able to pay? Because we know the majority of our members are already paying well above the minimum wage just to attract and retain labor in this tight labor market as it is.
You mentioned it was viewed favorably, the gradual move to $15 an hour now to $15.35 in this province?
Yes, and we have been working closely with, the Minister of Labor, and we've had conversations before about the importance of making sure that these are gradual increases, avoiding the sudden spikes that we have seen in some other provinces, and businesses are forced to adapt to that on a moment's notice, and it becomes really difficult for them.
What's the impact on the economy at large?
Well, when minimum wage increases, as I said, a lot of employers will give a bump to all of their employees. And so that means that they're likely to cut back. About a third of our members say that they will cut back on hiring younger, less skilled workers in those entry-level positions. So ultimately, it does harm younger workers and those in entry-level positions. And so we've actually been advocating for a differential wage for that kind of sector of the population. We've been asking, similar to Ontario and Alberta, they offer a youth minimum wage, and that's something that could be considered to help businesses, be able to bring in those younger workers and help them gain the experience they need.
You know from your members just how many people are actually working on minimum wage right now? Because there's going to be a segment of the population watching this that say, well, how many does this really affect?
For our members, we know that 82% pay above the minimum wage as it is. And so I'd say, as I said, in the tight labor market we're in, they're forced to offer competitive wages and good benefits if they want to attract and retain staff, and they care about their staff.
Brianna, thank you for your insight today as Saskatchewan raises its minimum wage to $15.35 per hour. We'll do this again.
Yeah, have a good day.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We're going to head to the pitch. Champions League action. Real Madrid taking on Kairat. Beautiful passing from the Spanish side. Rodrigo starts it. Then Arda Güler finishes or lays it off for Kylian Mbappe, who fires it home. That is a beautiful team goal from Real Madrid. Perfect passing and the first touch strike from the Frenchman, his third goal of the match. And that is your must-see moment from Tuesday. Today on TSN, we've got a full day of action from the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Italy takes on Cuba. Spain faces Mexico. It all starts at 2:48 p.m. Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
All right, let's check in with Janelle Pai now, who's on the go, getting crafty with a local artist and ceramics instructor. Janelle, good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. I've got Charlotte with me here this morning. We're going to talk all about ceramics, pottery, some fun classes that even you can be a part of as the, weather changes. It gets a little chilly out there. You can be inside where it's warm and scratching that creative itch in your brain. So Charlotte, thank you so much for having us this morning. We're having a ton of fun already. Let's talk a little bit about your backstory because it's really interesting. So how dit you get started?
I started in my backyard in the single car garage, and then I went to the double car garage, and then I brought here. I did 3 years. 3 years in the double car garage, and then I was kind of maxing out in space, so I thought it was time to move into commercial space. I ran my business template off a guy in Saskatoon. He's running Clayworks, so we hold membership. We have classes every day of the week, workshops on Friday, Saturday nights, and then I do my own work and have a little storefront right here, sell my own ceramics. This is one of my news cups, so I sell my own pieces. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. I hold membership, so if you have want to use the space and have previous ceramic experience, you can come use the space and pay a monthly membership. So
amazing.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. And you started this all the way back in high school, right?
Yeah, so I started in the clay studio. I started throwing on the wheel at Belford Collegiate, actually, here in Regina. And then I did an arts. I got my first year at the Kootenai School of Craft and Design, and then I went here and got my BFA in ceramics. Yeah.
So much fun. Well, this is beautiful work, and I can't wait to get more into that coming up. So you and I are going to be back very shortly. We're actually going to take a quick look over at some of the tools that Charlotte uses to make these beautiful creations. So we'll get more into that coming up.
All right, Janelle, looking forward to it. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a little bit.
It's October 1st, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy birthday to Zach. He's marking his 10th birthday. We hope it's a great one with lots of love from your family. Enjoy. Also celebrating a birthday is Gwen. She's turning 9 years old. Happy birthday. We hope you have an amazing day with an amazing year ahead. A belated happy birthday wish going out to Abigail, who marked her 8th birthday yesterday. We hope you had a ton of fun for your day. With love from your Cookham, Sister Sophia, Uncle Dylan, and Uncle Garth. And turning 9 years old yesterday was Sam. Happy birthday, Sam. We hope it was a great day, and we're wishing you a very special year ahead with love from your brother, Jerome, and your granny. Also celebrating yesterday was Grayson on his 14th birthday. We hope it was an awesome day. Happy birthday from your mom, dad, and brother, Malcolm. And celebrating today is Brooklyn, turning 13 years old. Happy birthday and have a fabulous day. Love always from Grandma and Grandpa. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
Oh, hi, Brandon. What are you talking about today on the radio?
Hi, Daryl. I love your tie, by the way.
Thank you.
We are talking about two big things. First one is our Pure Country Passport passwords. We're sending you to Jamaica, South Coast Jamaica resorts. On Friday, we start the code words, and then it's every Monday, or I guess it's Monday to Friday next week, and every day we'll give away a trip for two. So watch out for the code words, which is coming up in a couple of days. And, excuse me, sorry, something stuck. Oh, how did I get there? More money. We're trying to give away $1,000 at 7 o'clock this morning with our big money montage. 1 out of 3 has been correctly guessed. All the guesses are up on our website. Win money, win trips, because we love you on purecountry927.ca.
I'll take $998, and you can spend the extra $2 on Clorox wipes for those that you just pulled out of your butt. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Money.
Let ourselves out once in a while.
Julie Andrews is 90 years old today. The Oscar, Emmy, and Grammy winner rose to fame on Broadway in My Fair Lady and Camelot, made her big screen debut with her Oscar-winning performance in Mary Poppins, and has starred in films ranging from The Sound of Music to Victor Victoria to The Princess Diaries. Happy 90th birthday, Dame Julie.
I just need you to let me in.
Always about you. Only about you.
Emily Blunt goes toe-to-toe with Dwayne Johnson in writer-director Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine.
You feel a storm brewing going into them, and you can feel there's a force field on set, particularly the way Benny works, the environment he creates of reality. So fiction just gets sort of vaporizes. And that's so exciting, but quite unnerving to come down from, you know, and I think we had sleepless nights. I mean, the movie was sponsored by tequila. It was sort of essential.
The Smashing Machine is in U.S. theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It sometimes happens to the best of us, forgetting something that is right in front of us, or in this case, behind.
Okay, do you want to clip your backpack so we can go?
For me, it's the glasses on the hat or on the head.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I know I had them somewhere. For this little fellow, this 2-year-old named Emmy, it was the backpack on the way to daycare.
Huh. For me, it's the coffee on top of the car. When you're getting in and you put it on top of the car.
How many times have you driven away and splashed
So many times.
Oh, what a mess.
That's a big mess.
What a waste.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to get better at it. Let's move on, though. When you're an introverted person, everything needs to be perfectly timed. Even taking out the garbage. Watch him run back inside when he sees his neighbor. Only when he knows the coast is clear does he go back and finish throwing out the trash. I am guilty of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Extreme?
I don't really talk to my neighbors a lot.
Yeah, I do this sort of because I'm going out without my shirt on, or sometimes even like less clothed. I want to make sure the coast is clear.
And that's where the theme song of Thong Song comes into play.
There we are, folks. We're back right after this. Drink that image in. It's Wednesday, October 1st.
It's 35 cents. It's not huge. And frankly, if it makes all the difference in the world to employees who are facing their own affordability challenges, I think generally speaking, businesses thought that was okay.
Saskatchewan's minimum wage goes up 35 cents today. What experts say the impact will be on you.
Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth didn't hold back at a rare gathering of military commanders, saying he's bringing back a warrior-like culture.
Holy. There goes the porch out into the ocean.
The forces of hurricanes bringing down empty homes along the Carolina coast. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. Happy Wednesday, although it's a Wednesday that feels like a Monday.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of things going on right now, including the increase to the minimum wage. So let's get to that right off the top in your news. If you are making your minimum wage, you are getting a raise today. The province has increased the minimum wage to $15.35 per hour. That puts Saskatchewan ahead of Alberta, who now sits at $15 an hour. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says roughly 18% of its members do pay minimum wage, and it will have an impact.
About a third of our members say that they will cut back on hiring younger, less skilled workers in those entry-level positions. So ultimately, it does harm younger workers and those that in entry-level positions. And so we've actually been advocating for a differential wage for that kind of sector of the population. We've been asking, similar to Ontario and Alberta, they offer a youth minimum wage, and that's something that could be considered to help.
In 2007, the minimum wage here was $7.95. You can see our full conversation with the CFIB right now on our website. One rural childcare center says time is running out for the government of Saskatchewan to renew the deal with Ottawa on $10 a day childcare before the agreement runs up. QP Saskatchewan says the loss of funding will put some childcare centers at risk of closing due to workers' wages not going up to $9 an hour, along with families not being able to afford care. Childcare Now Saskatchewan, the organization says a deal needs to be done sooner rather than later, as expanding non-for-profit centers are in need.
We are at a crisis for expansion and workforce. We cannot expand if we don't have the workforce, and we need to pay people what they're worth in this province. So that's the other big challenge for this deal, and that's what people are waiting for.
The opposition NDP says one of two provinces here, Saskatchewan, Alberta being the other, that has not signed on to a $10 a day agreement extension. In a statement to CTV News, the government says it's confident a new agreement will be signed prior to the current one running out in March of 2026, adding it continues to engage with federal counterparts on expanding that deal. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe is apologizing on behalf of the province for the abuse many suffered at the Isla Lacrosse boarding school. The province will be paying $40.2 million in restitution to former students and families of those who attended the residential school, which operated in different capacities between the 1860s and 1970s.
Residential, whether it be day or industrial schools, are a shameful mark on Canada's history, with harmful intergenerational impacts on Indigenous and Métis people. Simply put, these schools were a mistake, and they shouldn't have existed.
Many survivors in attendance to share their stories from the school. Following the apology, the province expects the proposed settlement will be approved by the courts early next year. Spring and Jeremy Dodge now take us through some TRC Day events that happened in his city. Jeremy, good morning.
Yeah, Daryl. Of course, events held right across the country in recognition of Truth and Reconciliation Day. Those in the Saskatoon area did take the opportunity to highlight the importance of keeping Indigenous culture alive for future generations. It's the Saskatchewan Heritage Center, sharing a variety of free teachings. One of the main themes of the day was keeping language and culture alive on the land it originates from. Now, this was done through storytelling, song, dance, and tours of the Heritage Center.
Germans can go back to Germany, can learn their culture. English can go back to England. You know, the Chinese go back to China. That's their homelands. Here, once it dies, our languages, our culture, our songs, our dances, our ceremonies, then there's no place to go. This is it.
Wallace Oasis, part of the Survivors Circle, which offers support and resources to residential school survivors. Indigenous dancers from across Canada and even the United States gathered at Saskatchewan's largest Reconciliation Day powwow in Saskatoon. About 800 dancers taking the stage for the Saskatoon Tribal Council's Every Child Matters powwow in honor of reconciliation. Jerry Cleland came from Detroit, Michigan to dance. He's Chippewa from the Saginaw, Swan Creek and Black River Band. He says it's interesting to see different styles of dance north of the border and share his culture at this powwow.
We don't have the reconciliation in the States right now, so, you know, Canada's doing an excellent job. This is where we learn about who we are. You know, like I say, we're all sharing with each other. As Native people, we're sharing who we are.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe was there, walking alongside Saskatoon Tribal Chief Mark Arcan, who says seeing Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people come together is a key part of reconciliation. All right, Daryl, one person injured following a collision in Regina.
Gotta love that technical delay we've got there. One person injured in Regina after a pedestrian was hit on Dudney Avenue. This one happening about 10:30 Tuesday morning in the Dudney Avenue and Rupert Street area. Traffic was detoured for several hours. The investigation is ongoing. No word yet on any charges. There is a planned outage at the Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant today. This outage is scheduled to begin at 7 a.m., so a few moments ago, and last about 12 hours. The planned outage is part of ongoing construction at their facility. Capacity in the Moose Jaw reservoirs will allow water service to continue uninterrupted. A second outage is planned for October 7th. A wildfire burning out of control has prompted evacuation in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley.
Monday, conditions changed, winds picked up, and the fire shifted back to out of control, which means it is growing or could easily grow. That's why DNR recommended evacuations. The municipality issued evacuation orders supported by the Department of Emergency Management.
Officials say more evacuations are possible as dry and windy conditions threaten to fuel the fire. Water bombers from New Brunswick and the Northwest Territories are helping with the firefight, and planes from Quebec are on the way. Rescue efforts are ongoing in central Philippines at this hour after a massive, deadly earthquake. At least 69 people are dead after the 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit around 10 p.m. local time last night. The provincial government there has declared a state of calamity. One person told reporters it was as if the earth stopped spinning. Officials are now rushing to deliver aid and restore power to the area. Several homes along the North Carolina Outer Banks brought down by the force of two storms. Terrifying. Look at your screen. The houses collapsed as hurricanes Imelda and Umberto passed far off the U.S. East Coast. There were no people living in those houses. No injuries reported. Imelda will track nearly directly over Bermuda early tomorrow morning, potentially as a Category 2 storm. It's going to be difficult for visiting fans to see their teams play in the American League Divisional Series. For the ALDS, the Yankees are limiting sales to people living in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut, while the Jays are only selling tickets to people with Canadian billing addresses. If the Jays take on the Red Sox, doesn't look like Fenway has any restrictions at this point. Game 1 of the ALDS is Saturday in Toronto. The Yankees and Red Sox kicked off their wild card series last night in a series being closely watched by the Jays.
And Bregman down the line. That's a fair ball off the wall. He'll head to second. He will be in there with the double and insurance from Trevor Story. It's 3-1 Red Sox.
Austin scoring an insurance run in the top of the ninth to take a 2-run lead. The Yankees loaded the bases at the bottom of the inning, but were unable to score. The Red Sox win the opener 3-1. They can advance to the ALDS to take on the Jays with another win in Game 2, which goes at 4:08 p.m. today. That's where I will be glued to my screen. Kayleen Sawatsky, what are other people going to do? And, you know, there's nice weather and stuff, I'm sure.
Well, for people who are not glued to their screens this afternoon, it would be a great option to go outside and find something to do. We really have to cling on to these warm temperatures while we still have them, because we are seeing them go down as we look towards the weekend. This week, though, we are comfortably into those 20-degree temperatures still. 10 degrees right now to wake us up in Regina. The sun sun is now fully up in the sky, so that's nice to see. We're not seeing winds all too strong right now, but they are going to be increasing for our afternoon up to about 40 kilometers per hour for Regina and Saskatoon. But the strongest winds today actually going to be over in Swift Current. 11 degrees to wake us up now with just a few clouds in the sky in Saskatoon. Another radar and satellite showing that we did see some precipitation late last night into the overnight hours and continuing on into this morning as well. We do have a small piece of that system down in the south that is going to be impacting areas around Assiniboia, Coronach into this afternoon. And Regina has about a 30% chance of getting some very light drizzle at about 10 a.m. before that pushes off for the afternoon, makes way for a nice mix of sun and cloud. Where we are going to be continuing to see that precipitation falling is way up north, and that's also where we're seeing a lot more of that cloud cover today as well into those overnight hours and into Thursday morning. Current temperatures now showing Spiritwood at 11 degrees, Prince Albert at 14 degrees, La Ronge 13 degrees, Swift Current 10 degrees, and Yorkton waking up to that 14-degree temperature. Later on this afternoon, seeing some very nice temperatures though. Weyburn still up to that 26-degree mark today. Moose Jaw up to 26 as well, but could still be seeing some of that very light drizzle. Again, only about a 30% chance, and then making way for that mix of sun and cloud. With those winds over in Swift Current, the high today expected to be about 23 degrees. Now tomorrow, going to be more of the same for Regina, just dropping down 1 degree to about 24 degrees. More of that cloud cover making its way into Regina by Friday, though, and we do have the possibility of seeing some late afternoon rain. On Saturday and Sunday, we do start to see those temperatures go down. So 17 degrees on Saturday with about a 30% chance of seeing some light drizzle that afternoon. 10 degrees on Sunday, and the chance of rain does go up slightly on Sunday. 14 degrees on Monday with that mix of sun and cloud, and that sun fully coming out during the afternoon on Tuesday up to about 11 degrees. In Saskatoon, 23 degrees today, 21 tomorrow, 21 on Friday, and then temperatures dropping down to those mid-teens on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday with the chance of getting some morning rain, but the sun coming out for the afternoon, 14 on Monday and 15 on Tuesday.
Ahead on Your Morning Mystery is a song. We'll see if you can stump you. Today's code word in the CTV Your Morning $20,000 giveaway is coming up at about 7:40 on CTV Regina and Yorkton, talking about Master Plan hitting the stage at the Globe Theatre this week. And on CTV Saskatoon and Prince Albert at that same time, we are learning about Persephone Theatre's latest offerings on stage. Let's take a look outside at the city of Regina. Fill up your coffee cup. We're back in 2 minutes with more CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan.
Rural forecast now. We're seeing some very nice temperatures today. Watch us up to 23 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Wynyard up to 22, and Hudson Bay enjoying that nice afternoon high of 24 degrees. Some areas warmer down towards the south, including Coronach up to 26 degrees. Coronach, though, also included in those places that has about a 30% chance of seeing some rain during the early morning hours, and then it'll push off later on in the afternoon. Now let's take a look at Delisle, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. The high today going to be 23 degrees, mainly sunny skies all afternoon long, but winds could be increased today up to about 45 kilometers per hour.
Markets are mixed this morning after a U.S. government shutdown began overnight. Funding for federal agencies lapsed beginning at 12:01 a.m. this morning. Some federal services will be halted. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers could be furloughed. A new report says the second quarter of the year brought a sharp rise in credit card fraud. Equifax Canada says the rate of credit card fraud jumped significantly compared to a year earlier. Out of every 10,000 credit cards, about 75 are fraudulent. That's compared with 44 last year. And 5 provinces are increasing their minimum wage today to support workers amid affordability issues. The hikes will apply to Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Alberta is the only province that has not boosted its minimum wage, with its 15 an hour rate now the lowest in Canada. British Columbia, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador raised their minimum wage earlier this year. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Well, as if these two things weren't difficult enough on their own, this matchup put both chess and Rubik's Cube skills to the test.
I do have a lot of patterns in chess, while the cubers has to have incredible thousands of patterns as well.
So the inventor of Rubik's Cube, known as Erno Rubik, along with a Hungarian chess grandmaster, launched the first Rubik chess tournament. Here's how it works. Teams of two face off with one player handling the chess game, the other doing the cube. At 3 random times, a gong interrupts the match, and players race to solve the cube as fast as they can. The player that finishes the fastest gives their chess partner a crucial time advantage.
Could you do this?
I've never done a Rubik's Cube. Have you?
My brother can solve it behind his back.
My nephew can do it. I can't do it. JD? I can play chess.
Not bad. You could do that.
Question of the day. We're asking what song would be the, if your life had a theme song, what would it be? So the soundtrack of your life, essentially, is where we're going with this. And Colleen's actually still in Saskatchewan. She'll be in Mexico soon, so I think she has a different answer.
Well, she has Brown Eyed Girl by Jimmy Buffett on there. Also, I'm a Little Crazy by Morgan Wallen. And the all-time theme, I Want to Talk About Me by Toby Keith.
Did Jimmy Buffett do a version of that? That's a Van Morrison song.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We had Leanne write in saying My Life's Theme would be Amazing by Aerosmith. We also had Kelly from Bigger saying Life's a Dance.
Yes.
Another good one. Some more answers on our board coming in. We had The Song That Never Ends. We also had Slowly Going Crazy. That one.
Slowly Going Crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch.
Justin M sent in that one. Rebecca saying Watermelon Sugar. And we had Brad saying Human Race by Tom Cochran. So some great answers so far to start our day. We'd like to hear from you, though. If your life had a theme song, what would it be? Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code on your screen right now, and we'll share some more answers at about 8:15.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We're going to head to the pitch. Champions League action. Real Madrid taking on Kairat. Beautiful passing from the Spanish side. Rodrigo starts it. Then Arda Güler finishes or lays it off for Kylian Mbappe, who fires it home. That is a beautiful team goal from Real Madrid. Perfect passing and the first touch strike from the Frenchman. His third goal of the match. And that is your must-see moment from Tuesday. Today on TSN, we've got a full day of action from the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Italy takes on Cuba. Spain faces Mexico. It all starts at 2:48 p.m. Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Time for my favorite part of the show. It is your morning mystery for your Wednesday, I guess it is today. Let's get your whiteboards ready, your markers ready. Let's get to clue number 1. It is a song. It was the #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 on October 1st, 2000. Very specific.
This is my specialty, 2000s music.
She listens to nothing but this. Clue 2, before its official release, it was leaked onto the internet and posted on websites like Napster.
I think I know it. I think I know it.
Okay, clue number 3. This video features Madonna in cowboy attire.
Yeah, I know
features
it.
Sacha Baron Cohen as, okay. Yeah. I think, is there more than just one word to this title? Write down your answers.
It was
no.
the song and the album.
What are you?
We're both called.
We're going very. Okay, there we go. She drew pictures. Good. We got.
I can picture the video.
No excuses.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there it is. No excuses. Start putting it up. The answer is Music by Madonna. We got a sample. It was so jazzed because it's 2000 their jam.
We didn't need the sample. I could have just started singing this for you. It would have been such a treat.
Oh, we should have done that.
That was today's morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
It's time now for a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out onto the bus right now, sitting at about 9 degrees in Regina, 12 degrees in Saskatoon. By lunchtime, it's going to be just a little bit warmer for Regina, sitting at 22 degrees for the noon hour, 20 degrees for Saskatoon. And by final bell, sitting at our expected daytime highs in both cities, that would be 25 degrees for Regina and 23 for Saskatoon. However, both cities could be seeing those increased winds this afternoon, up to about 40 kilometers per hour. And as we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $135.9, but you can find it for as low as $114.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up, $135.9. You can find it for as low as $124.9. And taking a look at the farm markets now, the current price of canola at $543.62 per ton, and the futures price at $611.70 per ton. And amber durum wheat sitting at $274.93 per ton, and red spring wheat at $230.75 per ton. And the Canadian dollar beginning the day trending at 71.83 cents US. When we come back, we'll have more news and weather. Stay with us.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan, just about 7:30 on this Wednesday. Let's get to your headlines. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers holding rallies today to save the post office. It's part of a coordinated national day of action involving labor activists and community members. Courtney Heels, it's outside a Toronto processing plant, and joins us with the latest on negotiations.
So this is one of the more popular processing plants when it comes to letter processing in the city, and it's very quiet this morning. This has been the case for several days now. It's been nearly a week since this nationwide strike by about 55,000 Canada Post employees. You can see behind me, yes, there is a little bit of a picket line. I was talking to a few members earlier. They say they're here all night. There will likely be some more people out on the picket line first thing this morning. They walked off the job last week after their employer, the Crown Corporation, announced some really significant changes to Canada Post. Changes such as ending daily mail delivery, closing some post offices in rural communities, also moving households to community mailboxes. What we heard from the union on that announcement from Canada Post, they feel like it's an attack on workers. And the latest today, guys, there is going to be this rally that's considered the Save the Post Office rally. It's our understanding thousands will be attending this rally. It's happening over on Queen Street. It's also at 11 o'clock, so a little bit later on in the day, but the message loud and clear that these employees with Canada Post are very, very concerned with the announced changes coming with the Crown Corporation. They say they're fighting for better wages, job protection, but also for the future of Canada Post and what mail delivery looks like in this country. At this side, it's really hard to say what's going to happen with this. We know the federal government, of course, keeping a very close eye on the ongoing labor dispute. The Jobs Minister, Patty Hajdu, hasn't ruled out intervention, but it doesn't look like they're going to get involved at this time. And for Canadians who have something in the mail, you're kind of stuck. I mean, Canada Post announced shortly after the union saying they were walking off the job that there would be no mail delivery, that parcels weren't going anywhere, that pickups would be canceled. The impact is significant, and this is also coming at a time when the Crown Corporation is dealing with a lot of financial stress, and they say they're losing money. So we're waiting to hear from the union guys and the Crown Corporation on any developments overnight or later on today. And then, of course, at 11 o'clock, there will be that rally, not just by Canada Post members either. We understand many other labor groups will be involved in that rally today.
Thank you. We'll continue to follow that. In the meantime, parents in Alberta will be compensated if teachers in the province go on strike next week.
Will not leave you alone in uncertainty. We have taken steps to ensure that our kids can keep learning and parents are compensated for expenses they may face.
Premier Danielle Smith says eligible parents of children 12 and under attending public or francophone schools will receive $150 per child per week. The payment is to help cover the costs of navigating alternative arrangements during a potential strike. Smith says she's disappointed that the union rejected the province's latest two offers. Teachers will walk off the job on October 6th. This morning, the U.S. is facing a fresh cycle of uncertainty, with the government now shut down as of midnight after senators failed to pass a last-minute funding bill.
Republicans once again rejected Democrats' proposals to avoid a shutdown, fix health care premiums, and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs.
Regardless of the cost, regardless of the consequences to the American people, this truly is a Democrat-owned, Chuck Schumer-owned shutdown.
This is the first U.S. government shutdown in nearly 7 years. The Democrats are demanding stronger health care benefits. The Republicans are opposed to that and have been pushing to temporarily maintain current government funding to allow more time for negotiations. And there was no holding back by new U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who summoned hundreds of American military officers to a meeting where he declared an end to, quote, woke culture.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that.
A meeting with hundreds of U.S. top military officials, Pete Hegseth announced his new directives for troops, including implementing what Hegseth called the highest male standards for all combat roles. He said the era of unprofessional appearance is over, saying there would be no more beardos, and he criticized what he called fat troops and fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. A former RBC worker accused of accessing Prime Minister Mark Carney's banking profile is set to make a court appearance this morning. 23-year-old Ibrahim Al-Hakim is charged with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of a computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. Al-Hakim worked at an RBC branch in Ottawa. It's alleged he used the bank's information technology services for criminal purposes, including unauthorized access to multiple banking profiles and fraud. A bomb threat from a suspected perpetrator of an explosion in northern Munich has led to German police closing Oktoberfest fairgrounds this morning in Munich.
Well, a little irritated because we had reservations for this morning, and now we don't know if we'll have them for this evening, but better safe than sorry.
I mean, I assume someone is just making a prank call, but I imagine it's probably fine, and they'll sweep the place, so we'll see.
At least one person's death is believed to be connected to an explosion at a residential building that Munich police say was deliberately set on fire. It's not clear whether the deceased is the suspect or someone else. Officials discovered the Oktoberfest bomb threat in a letter from the alleged perpetrator. The fairgrounds, which usually attract up to 6 million visitors, have been searched by police, and authorities say the festival will be closed until 5 p.m. Munich time. For the first time since 2019, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a 1,000-yard receiver and rusher.
There's the toss to A.J. Olette across the 50, 45-40. Over 1,000 and still counting. A.J. Olette gets it down to the Edmonton 20.
Both A.J. Olette and Keyshawn Johnson reaching 1,000 yards at their respective positions Saturday in the loss to Edmonton. It's the second time Olette has passed that mark, the first time for Johnson.
I do. I feel like I'm moving well. I'm seeing the game well, and I'm a little bit older, so I'm communicating what I want and what I'm seeing out there. Yeah, everything's feeling good right now.
It's an accomplishment that all receivers want to hit, and it's something that I was able to do. But my main goal was when I came here was to win games, and get to the last game of the season.
Ranks last.
If you're wondering, the last time Saskatchewan had a running back and receiver each at 1,000 yards was 6 years ago. That was William Powell and Shaq Evans. We should have made that our morning mystery. Kayleen,
Yeah.
You crushed it today. Jeremy drew a big old question mark.
Well, if there's one thing that I know, it is pop music of the 2000s.
Can we roll down our windows and listen to it today?
Yeah, I think we should, because it's going to be a beautiful day to get outside, take the roof off the car if you can. Still seeing those temperatures into those 20 degrees, many areas into those mid-20 degree temperatures. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but still warmer than what we are going to be seeing as we make our way towards the weekend, when temperatures are going to be cooling down. 10 degrees in Regina to start the day. We do have some winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour in Regina and 17 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon as we wake up to that 11 degree temperature in Saskatoon. Both cities seeing just a little bit of cloud cover today. We are seeing on the radar and satellites that precipitation that made its way through the province late last night into those overnight hours, and we're still seeing some of that down towards the south this morning, but really in areas right around Assiniboine Assiniboia and Coronach there. It's going to be tracking north, about a 30% chance that Regina will see just a little bit of that drizzle at 10 a.m. And then that's going to be pushing off for areas in the central and southern zones, but the north is still going to be seeing that rain until tomorrow morning at least. Current temperatures now showing Buffalo Narrows is waking up to 13 degrees. A warm start to the day in Nipawin, 16 degrees. Hudson Bay already at 18 degrees. Swift Current at 10 degrees now. Yorkton at 14 degrees. And Weyburn waking up to that nice temperature of 13 degrees. Later on this afternoon, as I mentioned, some places down towards the south could be seeing some of that rain. Very light drizzle early on in the morning and then pushing off for the afternoon. Moose Jaw and Weyburn included in those areas with a very low chance of seeing some of that light drizzle. 26 degrees for Weyburn, though, 24 for Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud, and 22 degrees for Prince Albert. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Dropping down just 1 degree for tomorrow as we get up to 24 degrees, 21 degrees on Friday, mainly cloudy skies in the afternoon. And then late in the afternoon into the early evening, we do have a chance of seeing some rain starting. That's going to carry us into Saturday as we see, again, just some very light rain, but temperatures will be dropping down to about 17 degrees on Saturday and 10 degrees on Sunday with that rain continuing to fall. 14 degrees on Monday with a nice mix of sun and cloud, and then down to 11 degrees on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, here's your 7-day forecast, and all of those icons really indicating just a mix of sun and cloud until Tuesday of next week, where we do start to see that sun mainly coming out. Temperatures, though, again into those 20 degrees for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, dropping down to 15 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday. Tickets are now on sale for the Master Plan at the Globe Theatre. It's a journey inside a corporate fever dream, and it hits the stage this week. We have Bongani Musa and Alex Posh Golden, two of the cast members here in studio with us live this morning to tell us about the show. Good morning to you both, and thank you for your time.
Morning. Morning.
So, Alex, I'm going to come on over to you first. Tell us what the show is actually about, because that description really grabs us.
It's about this company, Sidewalk Labs, which is a subsidiary of Google, coming to Toronto in 2018 and trying to build a digital smart city on the waterfront. And then the conflicts that are up between the Waterfront Board, the City Council of Toronto, and Google as they try to make money and co-opt the city.
So it sounds like a pretty fun show, but who is it actually for?
I think it's for everybody. It's for Canadians. It tells a story about a city trying to revolutionize the way we create housing and all that, and that's something that all of Canada should be looking forward to doing, and I think it's a story that everybody could get something out of.
And when we're talking about building a city, I know that everyone in Saskatchewan can relate to that one. So definitely a fun theme idea. Let's go on and talk about this show. We have a preview that's happening tonight, and then it actually opens to the public starting on Friday. Alex, how are you feeling ahead of the first day?
Well, very excited. We did a tech run last night, and we'll have some previews tonight and tomorrow. The show's starting to gel. It's a wonderful company of people, and Jennifer Bruin, our director, is leading us very bravely, and there's a lot of technical aspects in the show, so those things are being combined now, and we're getting the flow of it, and it's a wonderful show, so beautifully written, and it's a privilege to do it.
Bongani, take us behind the scenes. We all see what happens actually on the stage, but what was it like in rehearsals for this show?
Oh, it's been fun, I think. It's been like a great team, as Alex has been saying, but when we're coming up now with the tech thing, we're adding all the elements that haven't been in place throughout. We've just been actors talking to each other for about 3 or 4 weeks, and now there's TVs that are coming on, there's cameras that are on stage, and it's all coming together very beautifully.
For many people in the public, this is actually going to be their first time seeing a show in the newly renovated Globe Theatre. Alex, what do you think it's like in there right now?
It's an exceptional facility. I haven't worked in the round before, so I was really thrilled. That's one of the reasons I was so excited about doing this play. I think it's the building's beautiful. We've had a big gala that happened a couple of weeks ago, and people are starting to become familiar with the facility and touring around, and some people even came and sat in on the rehearsals with us. So I think people are going to love it. It's a jewel and it's a gift to the city.
Lots of reasons to be excited for this show, for sure. In our last 30 seconds here, can you just give us your final words on why you think people should come on out and see the show?
It's a great show. It's for everybody.
We're in it.
It's fun. We're in it. It explores corporate dilemma as well as political context. There's lots to gain from the show. It's beautiful. It's funny, well written.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right. Thank you both so much for your time. If you love the theater and you're ready to have some fun, head on over to their website and grab your tickets.
The incident happened the evening of Friday, August 22nd at a residence on the 1000 block of McTavish Street. Around 6 p.m. that summer night, a house fire broke out, police now suspecting arson. An unknown woman was seen leaving the residence from the back prior to the fire starting. The woman was wearing a red Jordan brand t-shirt and had dark shoulder-length hair.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers would pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing. Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bonus. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
All right, let's head back out on the go now and find Janelle Lapai learning more about ceramic class. Janelle.
All right, well, one thing about me is that I have to be a part of it. So, Charlotte, we are doing some ceramics now. I'm not sure I'm very good at it, but you are, and you're a great teacher. So let's talk a little bit about what we're making here.
So we're going to make a bowl, because a bowl is a little bit easier, because the gravity of the wheel spinning the bowl, like the clay likes to go out. So it's easier to create a bowl versus a cylinder or a mug. So we've centered the clay, we opened the clay up. Now we're gonna push the clay out. Yours, you're gonna try to pinch the top of it and kind of get it a little less wobbly, or cup it and hold it. And this is basically what happens in the beginning.
Okay.
And that's okay. But the idea is to push out and then keep the clay curled in. Okay. Yours is, I think you've kind of lost it.
I've lost it completely.
I've lost it.
Okay, but it's all about personality, I guess.
Yeah. You maybe slow down a little.
I'm definitely going too fast, I fear. Okay.
Yeah.
And
then you can kind of, cup it, and then you can kind of pinch it with your hands to bring it back to the middle. And if you go a little slower, that will help. There you go.
It's all about speed, hey?
Yeah, and always keeping it curled in even though you're pushing out, because it's always easier to go out than it is to keep it in, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
How are we?
Yeah, and then you can compress it with your finger in the middle, going back and forth from the middle, or you can use your thumbs.
All right.
Your thumb, and then...
Let's give that a shot. Oh, I think I'm going too fast again. Well, you're an excellent teacher, and you do hold classes, right?
Yes, so we have class every night of the week, and then Friday during the day, Saturday during the day, we have evening workshops, and you can wheel throw, hand build. You can make Christmas platters, pumpkin platters for Christmas. We do groups, birthdays, anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have membership also. So
Awesome.
it's kind of us in a nutshell.
Absolutely. I've definitely messed mine up. Charlotte, you're going to be back soon. I'm going to fix this, so stay tuned. This is going to look better than it does right now, I promise.
It's October 1st, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy birthday to Zach. He's marking his 10th birthday. We hope it's a great one with lots of love from your family. Enjoy. Also celebrating a birthday is Gwen. She's turning 9 years old. Happy birthday. We hope you have an amazing day with an amazing year ahead. A belated happy birthday wish going out to Abigail, who marked her 8th birthday yesterday. We hope you had a ton of fun for your day. With love from your Cookham, Sister Sophia, Uncle Dylan, and Uncle Garth. And turning 9 years old yesterday was Sam. Happy birthday, Sam. We hope it was a great day, and we're wishing you a very special year ahead with love from your brother, Jerome, and your granny. Also celebrating yesterday was Grayson on his 14th birthday. We hope it was an awesome day. Happy birthday from your mom, dad, and brother, Malcolm. And celebrating today is Brooklyn, turning 13 years old. Happy birthday and have a fabulous day. Love always from Grandma and Grandpa. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
Hit me with your useless question of the day.
Okay, so it all stems from Bad Bunny, who's going to be the the Super Bowl halftime artist. 8% of people have voted would want to see this specific person host it instead of Bad Bunny. We were talking about some of the potential country acts that could eventually down the road, like Morgan Wallen, all the big ones, Luke Bryan, Blake Shelton. This person has nothing to do with the musical, well, country musical realm, and would be kind of ridiculous, but would be awesome. So what do you think? 8% of people think that this artist should be the Super Bowl halftime artist instead of Bad Bunny. Get in your guesses now at 54321.
Paul McCartney kicked off his Got Back tour Monday night in Palm Desert, California. The 83-year-old rock legend took the stage at Acrashore Arena, blending Beatles classics, Wings favorites, and some solo hits. Dolly Parton has canceled another event due to health issues. The country music legend was going to receive the Jean Hirschholt Humanitarian Award at the Governor's Awards in November, but will now reportedly not attend. Earlier this week, Parton postponed 6 concert dates in Las Vegas. Actress Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from country music singer Keith Urban after 19 years of marriage, according to court records in Tennessee. The couple first met in 2005 at an event in Los Angeles, promoting their shared home of Australia. They married the following year and have 2 children together. Hollywood union outrage over an AI actress. SAG-AFTRA says it's opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics. It's responding to the so-called AI actress Tilly Norwood. The Dutch creator says Norwood is in talks with talent agencies and adds Norwood is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work. And you may know her from Mary Poppins or The Sound of Music or even The Princess Diaries. Either way, Julie Andrews is celebrating her 90th birthday today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Time for our sidebar. It's happened to the best of us, forgetting something that is right in front of us, or in this case, behind.
Okay, do you want to clip your backpack so we can go? It's on.
Oh boy.
2-year-old Emmy getting ready for daycare, forgot that she had her backpack on, and when her mom asked her to buckle it up, she was kind of confused. A little relieved when she sees it's on, though.
It out.
Isn't that always the way? You put something in a safe space so you know where it is, and then you forget where that safe space is?
I'm going to leave this right by the door. I'll never forget it. Boom, still there at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
No problem. Jeremy, what do you have for us?
All right, so when you're an introvert, everything needs to be timed perfectly like this. Yeah, you got to time that garbage takeout. Sees your neighbor, go right back in, right? You can only go out when the coast is clear. You don't want to talk to people when you're taking out the trash. Come on.
Especially when you're shirtless, like you said earlier, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing.
Take out your trash, fill out your coffee. We'll be back in 2 minutes. It's Wednesday, October 1st.
Unfortunately, it's a tough time to be a small business right now, right? All of their costs have increased recently, plus they're dealing with economic uncertainty due to the trade dispute, supply chain issues, due to the Postal strike. So they'll have to make tough decisions to adjust to these cost increases.
Saskatchewan's minimum wage goes up 35 cents today. What experts say the impact will be on you or your business.
It's highly effective at preventing severe RSV.
Starting today, RSV shots available to newborns in Saskatchewan.
Yoshida sends one to center field. Rafaela's going to come in. Sogard to the plate.
The Boston Red Sox one step closer to facing the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Divisional. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Thank you for waking up with us. We appreciate you.
I know you watched a lot of Dancing with the Stars last night. Did you catch any of the baseball game?
No, not even a minute of it. Dancing with the Stars takes up all of my headspace.
That's it. Just Tyler giving the remote.
It was Alex Earl doing pop music.
That's who I took in the pool. Is she still doing well?
Oh, she's doing very well.
I haven't caught last night's episode yet, but we do have your news update. We'll get to that right now. If you make minimum wage in this province, you are getting a raise today. The province has increased the minimum wage to $15.35 an hour. That puts Saskatchewan ahead of Alberta at 15. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says roughly 18% of its members do pay minimum wage, and it will have an impact.
About a third of our members say that they will cut back on hiring younger, less skilled workers in those entry-level positions. So ultimately, it does harm younger workers and those that in entry-level positions. And so we've actually been advocating for a differential wage for that kind of sector of the population. We've been asking, similar to Ontario and Alberta, they offer a youth minimum wage, and that's something that could be considered to help.
In 2007, the minimum wage was $7.95, if you can believe it. You can see our full conversation with the CFIB right now on our website. Childcare givers say time is running out for the provincial government to renew its deal with Ottawa for $10 a day childcare. The current agreement expires in March of 2026. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
Kelsey Morrison says the village of Sedley fought hard to bring childcare to families in her home community.
People before me started that fight in my community over a decade ago. A group of about 12 of us parents continued that fight, and we were finally granted spaces in November of 2023.
Now, almost 2 years later, Morrison says the community is still fighting to provide affordable childcare.
To know that all of that hard work has gone unnoticed and could literally be lost.
Organizations are urging the government of Saskatchewan to renew its deal with Ottawa on $10 a day childcare before its current agreement expires in March. QP Saskatchewan says federal funding is needed to increase workers' wage top-ups to $8.50 an hour, along with providing families access to care at a lower cost.
Centers will lose funding they rely on to keep their doors open. Many childcare centers will close. This means childcare workers lose their jobs and parents lose their childcare spaces.
Saskatchewan is one of 2 provinces in the country that has yet to renew a federal funding agreement, Alberta being the other.
Sign the deal and don't add for-profit to the mix.
if you're waiting to do that. Not-for-profit, publicly funded childcare is what we need.
When asked for comment, the provincial government sent a statement saying it's confident that a new agreement will be signed prior to the expiry of the current one and has reached out to the federal government multiple times to negotiate an extension. In the meantime, childcare providers are left in limbo.
If this government doesn't get a deal, it's heartbreaking to think about.
The province also says it remains ready to negotiate a better agreement with the feds. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Let's bring in Jeremy Dodge to take us through some truth and reconciliation events in his city. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, events were held, of course, across the country in recognition of Truth and Reconciliation Day yesterday. Those in Saskatoon took the opportunity to highlight the importance of keeping Indigenous culture alive for future generations. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
In a packed room at Wanuskewin Heritage Park, people took the time to hear the stories of Indigenous people and listen to languages that at one time were not allowed to be spoken.
If they disappeared, and it's like they won't, our people will forget. We don't want people to forget the atrocities, the hurts, the pain, the suffering that happened in those schools, and also those that never made it back that were found in unmarked graves.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day, is dedicated to acknowledging the harm done towards Indigenous people. Residential schools took Indigenous children away from their families with the intention of completely erasing Indigenous culture. Many of those who attended the schools also suffered abuse, which continues to affect countless people through generational trauma.
So my mother went to residential school. She lost her voice. She lost her culture. She lost who she was as a proud Cree woman from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation.
As one of the many teachings offered at Wanuskewin throughout the day, Gen 7 Path shared a series of songs and spoken words intended to pass on knowledge to the next generation.
Otherwise, we will lose our language, we'll lose our cultures, we'll lose everything associated with the Indigenous. And our job is to learn, so the non-Indigenous to understand what happened at residential schools and really heal as one nation.
Oasis says the importance of the day is rooted in keeping Indigenous culture and language alive on the very land it originates from.
Germans can go back to Germany, can learn their culture. English can go back to England. You know, the Chinese go back to China. That's their homelands. Here, once it dies, our languages, our culture, our songs, our dances, our ceremonies, then there's no place to go. This is it.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Of course, Hallie out at Wanuskewin for Truth and Reconciliation Day. And Daryl, events happening in Regina as well.
Yes, Jeremy, Sierra D'Souza Butts was out and about yesterday and filed this report.
As part of her healing journey, Merle Buffalo is sharing her family's history of 3 generations affected by Canada's residential school system through a blanket project.
It answered a lot of questions as to why my parents were the way they were, why my grandparents were the way they were, why I never knew anything about my culture, you know, or who I was as a Native woman.
Each of the 5 blankets display a different message, one showcasing the reality of what Indigenous people went through at residential schools, another illustrating Buffalo's experience, along with a star blanket acknowledging everything that represents Indigenous people.
I'm living proof that these atrocities did happen. So when they look at my blanket, I hope they have the courage and, you know, the strength to go on that journey that I'm on.
Reflecting on the history of people affected by residential schools, people in Regina are honoring the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation by wearing orange and listening to survivors' stories. While the day brings a time of painful reflection, organizers say it also symbolizes a path towards moving forward.
It's very important to actually take the time to listen to the people that experienced residential schools. 7 generations of people went through it, and the oldest that, of course, are no longer here. The youngest ones could be about 35 years old.
Adding, people can do their part in reconciliation by reading a book, watching a movie, or going to events, so survivors' stories are not forgotten.
This is what this represents, my healing journey. So every time I look in the mirror, I am reminded that I have to stay, on that good path and to love everybody from the heart.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
One person was injured in Regina after a driver hit a pedestrian on Dudney Avenue. This one happened about 10:30 Tuesday morning in the Dudney Avenue and Rupert Street area. Traffic rerouted for several hours. No word on any charges. The investigation is ongoing. There is a planned outage at the Buffalo Pound water treatment plant today. The outage is scheduled to have begun an hour and 9 minutes ago. Runs 12 hours, so 7 p.m. tonight. The planned outage is part of ongoing construction at the facility. Capacity will not be impacted. A second outage is planned for October 7th. Cutting-edge investigative techniques have led to a major development in a century-old mystery in Saskatoon. Known as the Woman in the Well, police have now identified her. Laura Woodward has the details.
Nearly 20 years ago, a construction crew excavating this Saskatoon corner uncovered an old well. Inside were pieces of a wooden barrel and a woman's body. Her identity has been a mystery until now.
Alice Spence is not invisible anymore.
Forensic anthropologist Ernie Walker says Alice Spence's body was placed in a barrel and dropped down a well.
Unknown to the individual that dropped it, a piece of the cribbing of the well had broken loose and blocked the barrel from going all the way down to the bottom.
These composite drawings show what Spence may have looked like. While her body was discovered in 2006, police believe she died sometime between 1916 and 1918. Sergeant Darren Funk says he has evidence of who was involved in the death but refused to share the suspect's name.
We believe we know who did it, but it's 100 years old. That person does not have the right to defend themselves in court today, so we're going to leave it at that.
The case now considered closed. Saskatoon police partnered with Toronto police to identify Spence using investigative genetic genealogy, a relatively new tool that combines family tree research with DNA analysis.
We're happy to have been able to help with using this really powerful investigative tool.
Cindy Camp, Spence's great-granddaughter, admits she first thought the investigators' call was a scam.
The idea that someone was reaching out to us about a relative we didn't know under such unusual circumstances seemed too strange to be true.
Camp says her grandmother never spoke about her family, and she's grateful to finally have the details come to light.
Learning about Alice's life and the way she had been hidden away from history for so long is both surreal and emotional for our family.
Camp says she plans to get a gravestone made to honor her great-grandmother, whose story she now knows. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Yankees and Red Sox kicked off their wildcard series last night in a series being closely watched by Jays fans here in this country.
And Bregman down the line. That's a fair ball off the wall. He'll head to second. He will be in there with the double and insurance from Trevor Story. It's 3-1 Red Sox.
Boston scored an insurance run in the top of the ninth to take a 2-run lead. The Yankees loaded the bases in the bottom of the inning, but were unable to score. Red Sox win the opener 3-1, can advance the ALDS to take on the Jays with another win tonight. Game starts at 4:08 p.m. And this weather forecast, I understand, is dedicated to Director Corey?
Yeah, well, when he says in my ear that I have to come and do my job, I say, fine, but I'll do it for you.
Just for you.
Just for you. So this weather forecast is dedicated to Corey Hadubiak, our very loyal director here. 15 degrees if you're waking up with us here in Regina, a mix of sun and cloud to start the day. We are seeing some winds coming in at just about 20 kilometers per hour in both cities. Those are likely going to be doubling for your afternoon, gusting up to about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour. 11 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon now. Again, a mix of sun and cloud. Now, the radar showing that we did get some of that precipitation in the province yesterday evening into those overnight hours. We are still seeing just a little bit down towards the south later on into this morning. Areas around Assiniboia, Coronach, even about a 30% chance that Regina or Moose Jaw could be seeing just a little bit of drizzle later on this morning, and then pushing off for the afternoon, making way for just a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. For areas throughout the central and southern zones, that is, way up north, we are seeing increased amounts of cloud cover, and we're also seeing some more of that precipitation falling until tomorrow morning at least. Current temperatures now showing Spiritwood at 11 degrees to wake us up. Quite the warm start for Nipawin at 16 degrees. Hudson Bay up now to 19 degrees. 10 degrees in Swift Current. That's where we're going to be seeing the winds gusting the strongest today. And 15 degrees to wake us up in Moose Jaw, 13 in Estevan. Later on this afternoon, with those winds in Swift Current, we're seeing that high of 23 degrees. A bit warmer over in Moose Jaw, up to 26 this afternoon. Yorkton up to 24 in Estevan, up to 25 degrees. Your 7-day forecast in Regina looking like we're seeing some very nice temperatures for the next 3 days. So 25 today, 24 tomorrow, and 21 on Friday. But Friday is the day that we're not going to be seeing as much of that sunshine according to our radar, and we could be seeing some evening rain. Saturday and Sunday, that very light rain likely going to be continuing on into parts of the afternoon, and then other parts we will be seeing that sunshine still. But temperatures dropping down below those 20-degree temperatures. So 17 on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday. In Saskatoon, 23 degrees today, 21 tomorrow, and 21 on Friday. But then again, we're seeing those temperatures fall below the 20-degree mark on Saturday and Sunday. We're just not seeing quite as much precipitation for areas in the central zone around Saskatoon. When we could be seeing it is Sunday morning, according to our radar, and then pushing off by Sunday afternoon, making way for that mix of sun and cloud with that high of 10 degrees. And then as we continue on into your next work week, 14 degrees expected for your Monday and 15 degrees on Tuesday.
In case you missed it, it's furry, it's a companion, and it comes with 4 million personalities.
Over time, it can grow a bond with its owner based on the way that you interact with it. It will elicit unique responses so that after 50 days of maturation, it becomes unique to its owner.
Okay, it's called a Mothling, and it's a new AI companion designed to behave less like a toy, more like a pet. It responds with noises, head movements, and posture changes using a microphone and light and touch sensors. The company behind it says it's not designed as a pet replacement, but a new innovation in therapeutic and social robotics.
Okay, what are our thoughts here?
Go to the Humane Society and adopt a dog or a cat, people.
Yeah, the ones that actually give you genuine emotions.
Somebody a real home, not this owl.
I can see why it would be therapeutic, but definitely not up my alley.
I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. Question of the day is, if your life had a theme song, what would it be? What is that?
Well, we have a lot of answers. Julius wrote in and said, "What you see is what you get" by Luke Combs. And I like that. I think that shows that Julius is a very authentic person. We had Edith writing in saying, "I'm in a hurry to get things done."
Real. Yeah, everybody, all the time.
Yeah.
Rush and rush.
I feel like that's part of being an adult. It's just everything has to get done all the time. Bailey writing in saying, "Fine" by Lemon Demon. I'm not certain I know that one. Hoping it's a good song for your life theme song. Carol saying "Living on a Prayer" and "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi. I feel like we have a bit of a carefree vibe there, which I really enjoy. We had Colleen writing in saying "Brown Eyed Girl," "I'm a Little Crazy," and of course "I Want to Talk About Me" by Toby Keith. Leanne in Nipawin saying "My Life's Theme Song Would Be Amazing" by Aerosmith. And we also had "Life's a Dance" by Kelly from Bigger. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit of insight into your personalities this morning. It's always fun when we get to learn a little bit more about who's watching our show every morning.
Starting today, newborn babies will be offered an additional layer of defense before going home from the hospital, with Saskatchewan joining select other provinces to offer a new immunization. RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, is one of the most common reasons babies are hospitalized during the winter months, often causing bronchitis or pneumonia. It ensures all parents can protect their newborns from serious lung infections caused by RSV, free of charge and with parental consent. The antibody shot now offered at 17 locations where babies are born in Saskatchewan.
It's highly effective at preventing severe RSV. So what we've seen in clinical studies and in real-world data is that the risk of severe RSV and hospitalization after nirsevimab goes down by about 90%. And that's over many studies, many different sites.
With so many remote areas in Saskatchewan, the RSV program says the immunization will also free up bed space in hospitals.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Sask Energy's Share the Warmth grant is aiming to keep Saskatchewan's most vulnerable residents extra warm this winter. Joining us now to tell us more about it is Alex Schweitzer. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we gave a little bit of an introduction as to what the grant is all about, but can you go into some more details for us?
Yeah, you bet. So Sask Energy's Share the Warmth program has been around for a long time, more than 30 years, and it's all about helping nonprofit and charitable organizations do great work in the community. So the program helps deliver funding for groups that are focused on providing warm clothing, food, shelter, and mental health related services to those in need during the coldest months of the year.
Just a fantastic community initiative and very needed in those winter months here in Saskatchewan. What has the community response been to this in previous years?
Yeah, the community needs this program, and I think they're all very grateful that we offer this program. As I said, it's been more than 30 years that this has been going. It's a long-standing tradition at Sask Energy. And last year was our 30th anniversary, and we saw more than 100,000 people supported through the program in more than 100 communities, doing great work again around that warm clothing, food, shelter, and mental health services.
So when this has been going on for so long, it's probably hard to track just how successful it has been, but do you have any idea just how much money has been given out since this began?
Yeah, so since 2013, more than 500 Share the Warmth projects have been facilitated, and over $500,000 has been distributed throughout the province. And through that, we've seen a number of really great projects. Leask, Saskatchewan, the Happy Homesteaders have done a ton of great work where they connected seniors during the cold months of the year to help fight isolation, kind of focusing on that mental health, those mental health challenges, as well as the Meadow Lake Home Plate Shelter Coalition, focused on providing emergency shelter for those in need. And I think of that one's interesting and demonstrates that oftentimes we think shelter is maybe more of an issue in the larger cities, but obviously some of the smaller communities are facing those challenges as well. And the Share the Warmth program is doing a great job helping provide support in those communities too.
Reaching every corner of this wonderful province. Where can organizations go to apply for funding through this grant?
Yeah, so applications are being accepted online at saskenergy.com/sharethewarmth. So if they jump online, check out the information, all the details are there. We want to hear about the impact that their project is going to be making in their community. And that's one of the great things about this program is that the charitable organizations are the ones who are connected directly to the community members. They know what they need. So we look forward to connecting with them to help them put together some awesome Share the Warmth projects.
We love seeing wonderful things happening right here in our community. Thank you, Alex, for joining us in studio this morning. If you want to learn more about the grant, you can head on over to their website, and that is saskenergy.com.
Greetings, everyone. Living off the land was a way of life for Indigenous peoples for thousands of years in what is now known as North America. Now with an ever-evolving agriculture sector, an event recently held near Batoche is intended to reinvigorate Indigenous involvement in that same industry. Caller Shinkarak explains.
This group is learning how to crush the seeds of choke cherries so the berries can be made into dried fruit. It's part of the Indigenous Farm and Food Festival held near Batoche.
Bringing people together to learn about Indigenous agriculture and food systems from communities all across Saskatchewan and into the prairies, and we've even got folks coming in from Ontario and British Columbia.
Just all my life.
Participants like Terry Lara from Cowessess First Nation. He runs one of the largest Indigenous farms in the province and stresses the importance of looking after the land so it continues to produce.
It's our own land, and if we look after it, if we farm it ourselves, we look after our own land. Whereas if someone else is farming your land, they're not necessarily putting all the inputs into the land.
Much of the nearly 1 million acres of Indigenous farmland in the province is leased out to non-Indigenous farmers. Currently, there are about 200 Indigenous farmers in Saskatchewan. Melissa Arcan says historically laws were put into place like restricting where Indigenous people could sell their product, which made it hard to compete.
So there's lots of different barriers that have been put into place that has really stifled Indigenous producers from being as successful as they initially were.
This event is hoping to change that. It started last year, growing from 1 day to 3. Other sessions here included a tractor ride to go see the buffalo herd, or how to dry corn and preserve it.
Food that could last a long time from season to season. Learning about the processes of how to process some Canadian geese and ducks. People can get their hands in and learn about the history of ancestral corn here on the prairies.
As for Lara, who's been farming his entire life, this event is a step in the right direction for Indigenous people and all of agriculture in Saskatchewan.
We got to utilize our land to improve the lives of our own people, to be sustainable.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Carla Shinkaruk in Batoche.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl. Here's what's making news. The Premier issuing an historic apology to survivors of the Ala Lacrosse Residential School. Along with it comes the announcement of a class action lawsuit brought forward by survivors. Hallie Mandrick leads us off.
It was a historic day for the survivors of the Ala Lacrosse Residential School, which was open in Saskatchewan until the late 1970s.
Residential, whether it be day or industrial schools, are a shameful mark on Canada's history, with harmful intergenerational impacts on Indigenous and Métis people. Simply put, these schools were a mistake, and they shouldn't have existed.
Premier Scott Moe offered a formal apology on behalf of the province for the abuse many of those who attended the school endured. The province will be paying $40.2 million in restitution to former students and families of those who attended the residential school, intended to promote reconciliation and healing.
Our first day we got here, the second day, they cut our hair. My hair was long. My hair was up to my knees.
Provincial leaders and those impacted by residential schools gathered in Ala Lacrosse to hear survivors recount their experiences.
We would watch my mom and dad go across the lake, and it was so lonely being left behind as a child. Very lonely.
And the agenda was simple. Residential school was no different than the First Nation residential school, was to take the culture out of the child. That was the agenda. I couldn't use my name. I had a number given to me.
The money will be spent with guidance from the community to address the various needs recognized in the settlement. This will include efforts in legacy, healing, wellness, education, culture, and commemoration. Those who addressed the room expressed that this apology is an important step towards reconciliation.
You know, an opportunity for us to really look at, you know, if we're truly going to work together as we move forward, and as Minister Belanger said, that is rooted in trust, right? And that conversation will continue to happen as we go through the next number of days, weeks, and months.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Parents in Alberta will be compensated if teachers in that province go on strike next week.
We will not leave you alone in uncertainty. We have taken steps to ensure that our kids can keep learning and parents are compensated for expenses they may face.
Premier Danielle Smith says Alberta's eligible parents of children under the age of 12 and they are attending public or francophone schools, they'll get about $150 per week per child. The payment is to help cover costs of navigating alternative arrangements during a potential strike. Teachers will walk off the job in Alberta on October 6th. The federal NDP leadership race is about to get another contender. Rob Ashton, the president of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, is set to announce his intention to step into the race this morning. He will join Alberta MP Heather McPherson, activist Eve Engler, and filmmaker Avi Lewis as declared candidates thus far. Ashton is billing himself as the first working-class Labour candidate. The NDP will select a new leader March 29th. If you're ever in an accident, you know you need to check for injuries and damage to your vehicle. But what about your child's car seat? If it's relatively minor crashes, you can continue to use the seat, but in a more serious accident, it may need to be replaced. Pat Foran reports.
Car seats are designed to take the impact of a crash and protect your child. And even though following an accident, it may not appear broken or have cracks, it might still need to be replaced for safety's sake. Consumer Reports car seat safety expert Emily Thomas was recently rear-ended on the highway. Thankfully, she's okay and her kids weren't in the car, but their car seats were. That raises the question for any parent, do you need to replace a car seat after a crash?
If you've been in a minor crash, you may not need to replace your car seats. But if it's been a moderate to severe crash, then you should definitely replace them.
So what's considered a minor crash? Here's a checklist. If any of these criteria are not met, it's time to get a new car seat.
In my case, the car seats looked fine. There was no visible damage. There were also no injuries sustained in the crash. The impact was at the rear of the vehicle, so the doors closest to the car seats were not damaged. However, both vehicles were towed and there was airbag deployment. So this counts as a moderate to severe crash and the car seats have to be replaced.
Some child car seat manufacturers say you should replace their car seats after any crash. You should follow the instructions of your car seat manufacturer.
If your car seats need to be replaced, talk to your insurance company about covering the cost. I'll also need to properly dispose of my car seats so no one else uses them. Remove all the covers, cut the harness straps, and mark the shell with do not use.
Even when your kids aren't in the car, make sure their car seats are properly secured so they don't become projectiles in a car crash. If you have a booster seat, buckle it in. And when riding with your kids, make sure your child is properly harnessed, snug, and at the correct height. And even though many families are trying to save money, it's not recommended you buy used car seats as you won't know their history. Car seats also have expiration dates as safety standards can change.
For the first time since 2019, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a 1,000-yard receiver and rusher.
There's the toss to A.J. Ouellette across the 50, 45-40. Over 1,000 and still counting. A.J. Ouellette gets it down to the Edmonton 20.
Both A.J. Ouellette and Keyshawn Johnson reaching 1,000 yards in that loss to Edmonton. It's the first time for Keyshawn, the second for Ouellette.
Goalposts kind of blocked.
I do. I feel like I'm moving well. I'm seeing the game well, and I'm a little bit older, so I'm communicating what I want and what I'm seeing out there. Yeah, everything's feeling good right now.
It's an accomplishment that all receivers want to hit, and it's something that I was able to do. But my main goal was when I came here was to win games, and get to the last game of the season.
Edmonton ranks last, 9th in the CF.
The last time Saskatchewan had a running back and receiver each at 1,000 yards was 6 years ago. William Powell and Shaq Evans were that combo. How many yards do you think you could rush for? I think you get like one. I get to the line and fall down.
Yeah, no, I think that'd pretty much be me. I did my years in on the go. That's when I did my athletics. Yeah. Now I'm comfortable in the weather center.
House cat.
Yeah, exactly. Indoor cat now. Let's take a look at the weather since that is my job now. 15 degrees to wake us up in Regina now, so those temperatures are going up. It's going to be a very beautiful day across Saskatchewan today. A mix of sun and cloud to wake us up with winds coming in just under 20 kilometers per hour in both Regina and Saskatoon. Those wind gusts could be doubling this afternoon up to about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour for Regina and Saskatoon. 11 degrees to start the day, and yes, a few clouds clouds up in the sky throughout the central zone as well. Not quite as much as what we're seeing way up north later on today, and I'll show you that on our Futurecast in just a moment. But let's take a look at this radar and satellites. It's showing how that rain was making its way through the province yesterday, and we do have some more rain on the way today. Not as much, though, down throughout the south and central zones. Just a little bit later on this morning down by Coronach, and then it will be tracking northeast. About a 30% chance we could see some of that drizzle around the 10 o'clock hour in Regina. But mainly what we're going to be focusing on for the afternoon is that nice mix of sun and cloud, and most of that rain concentrating way up north into the overnight hours and affecting us tomorrow morning as well. Current temperatures showing that we're seeing a lot of warmth over in Hudson Bay this morning. That has been our hot spot for the past hour or so. 19 degrees currently. We're seeing 16 degrees in Wynyard, 9 degrees for the Battlefords, 15 degrees in Moose Jaw, and 13 degrees to wake us up in Estevan. Here's a look at today's forecast, though. With that wind over in Swift Current, the high going to be about 23 degrees today, 26 for Moose Jaw with that mix of sun and cloud. Weyburn has that 30% chance of getting just a little bit of drizzle later this morning, and then that's going to push off for a mix of sun and cloud for your afternoon, up to 26 degrees, 25 degrees expected for Estevan. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Regina. We're still seeing temperatures into those 20 degrees at least until the end of the day on Friday, and then temperatures dropping for our weekend. Saturday up to 17 degrees with that low chance of getting a little bit of precipitation. Sunday up to 10 degrees again, still about a 30 to 40% chance of seeing some light drizzle that afternoon. Monday, the sun will be returning with that mix of sun and cloud. 14 degrees on that day and 11 degrees on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, 23 degrees going to be the high today, 21 for your Thursday and Friday with those mix of sun and clouds. And then on Saturday, seeing 15 degrees, 10 degrees on Sunday, 14 degrees on Monday, and 15 degrees on Tuesday. Whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bonus. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway. October is recognized as Children's Vision Month. Here to tell us more about the importance of regular eye exams are Dr. Jake Kelly and Dr. Angie McMurray. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
So let's talk about October being Children's Vision Month. Dr. Kelly, I'll come over to you first. Why do you think it's so important that this is recognized?
Around 1 in 4 Canadian children have vision problems. Many of those can go undetected because kids have no idea that there is some kind of vision problem. They think their vision is normal. 90% of vision problems can be avoidable or can be treated early. So regular eye exams can help to detect those early on and help to improve kids' confidence over time, improve their development over time.
All right. Well, this is something that sometimes can be put on the back burner for parents when we're talking about going and visiting a family doctor or going to the dentist, but the eye exams are so important. Dr. McMurray, what should we be looking for in our children to determine if they need an eye exam?
Yeah, so we do recommend regular eye exams for every child, but we know life gets busy, so some of the signs to watch for would be some of the obvious ones like squinting, or if a teacher notices that the child has to move closer to the board during class or things like that. Some of the less obvious signs would be if kids are rubbing their eyes a lot, avoiding reading or near work, seem to get a lot of headaches, or definitely if you notice that the eyes are don't seem to be working together, or one eye is turning in a different direction than the other. So anything like that, even if it's been less than a year since your child's last eye appointment, is important to bring to the optometrist for evaluation.
Okay. Dr. Kelly, I'm going to come back to you. Studies are showing right now that there is a rise in nearsightedness. What do parents need to know about that?
Yeah, so nearsightedness is also known as myopia. So yeah, we've seen a big increase in that over the last 30 years or so. It's been associated with a couple of things. So they found that the increased use of screen time, the lack of outside time that kids have had over time is increasing the amount of that nearsightedness. Good news, there's always been ways that we can treat that. We can treat it with glasses, we can treat it with contact lenses, but now there's also ways that we can slow that progression down over time. So you can use glasses, you can use contact lenses, you can use eye drops that slow that progression. So it's all the more important that we catch that early and we can treat it early and help to avoid those thicker glasses that kids would have later on.
All right, we only have about 30 seconds left, but final question, what should parents be considering when it comes to the healthy eye vision of their children?
So again, routine eye exams are actually covered, the cost is covered by Sask Health once a year for children under 18, and then trying to balance screen time with outdoor time. If your kids are on screens, consider putting the show on the TV that's further away rather than handheld devices. All of those things can help.
Thank you so much for your time and your expertise this morning. Once again, October is Children's Vision Month, and it's so important that we keep our eye health healthy. You can head on over to childrensvision.ca for more information.
There is only one time in history the Saskatchewan Roughriders have ever faced an American team in a preseason game. In 1994, the Riders faced the Sacramento Gold Miners at Taylor Field. It wasn't televised and streaming wasn't even invented yet, but we found some rare footage of the game. Back then, U.S. teams in the CFL did not have to have any Canadian players, but that didn't bother U of S Husky Dan Farthing, who torched the all-U.S. players secondary of Sacramento. The Rider defense also gave quarterback David Archer a tough time in the backfield. Mike Saunders solidified his spot as the #1 running back, and Tom Burgess and Ray Elgard would head into the season as starters for the Riders. Saskatchewan won the game 19-4. Of course, the Gold Miners remain the only team the Saskatchewan Roughriders have never lost to in the preseason, and they haven't faced an American team in the preseason since then. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
All right, let's check back in with Janelle Lapai once more on the go with one way we can get creative this fall.
Well, I've tried to redeem myself during this break. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I did. But you're very encouraging, Charlotte, so thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about some of the beautiful pieces that you have created in front of you here.
All right, so I started throwing a little bigger lately, so I've been making tall vases, and then I've been adding my sculpting to them. So this is one I just, it's still bone dry. So once you throw on the wheel, the pieces, the water will evaporate, and then they'll look like this. The water will turn from dark gray to light gray, and then, so this is bone dry, and then it goes to, this is in the first firing. After the first firing, this is a bisque firing, so then it becomes rock hard. You can tap on it, and then this is the last firing, the glaze firing.
And I'm sure, as everybody has seen from me, this is very beginner friendly. So let's talk about some classes that you offer and who you like to invite over.
So we have beginner classes. This is traditionally what happens in beginner stages. Nice little. It's easier to make a bowl because the wheel spinning, the gravity of the wheel spinning, the clay will go out. So little bowls are traditionally kind of. And then we do have youth class, and they like to build fun cups or fun little characters in the youth class. And then I also have workshops for Christmas, so I thought you could make your own platter, design it however you like, some kind of fancy platter. So this is the bisque firing, this is the first firing, and then a pumpkin. I made a fancy pumpkin. And then you can paint or decorate it however, whatever colors you like. We have lots of different colors in the studio, and then they'll turn out to be like something like that.
Gorgeous. Well, these are beautiful, Charlotte. I have had so much fun with you here this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to have you here.
All right, well, that's it for us here this morning. We will see you again tomorrow.
This morning, it's a fork in the road for one of Hollywood's hottest and most enduring couples. Oscar-winning actress Nicole Kidman and country music superstar Keith Urban separating after almost 20 years of marriage. The two have been reportedly living apart since the beginning of summer. A source close to the couple telling People magazine Kidman didn't want this and that the actress has been fighting to save the marriage.
They have two beautiful daughters together, and they were always very expressive about their love. So it is really surprising.
The couple's last image together in June, Kidman posted this picture on Instagram with the caption, "Happy anniversary, baby." Kidman and Urban first meeting in 2005 at a Hollywood gala honoring Australian entertainers. They officially tied the knot a year later in Sydney. And throughout the years, the A-list couple seemingly inseparable. Kidman gushing about their relationship on GMA in 2015.
I'm so fortunate. I've met somebody that I'm incredibly in love with, and it's a decade into the relationship. It's very much about commitment, and we don't ever take it for granted.
And just last year, Urban honoring his wife with an emotional tribute at the AFI Lifetime Achievement Awards.
She has a capacity to love like no one I've ever met. And I know tonight's all about her body of work so far, baby.
The 58-year-old actress has been a critically acclaimed fixture on both small and big screens for decades. And Urban carving a legendary path of his own, selling more than 15 million albums, winning 4 like Somebody Like You.
Now I wanna love somebody like you.
I think what's most interesting is that this is very much the show must go on. Nicole just finished shooting Practical Magic 2, which is going to be a huge movie. I don't envision her slowing down. And Keith Urban is currently on tour in the U.S.
Oh, the struggle was real back when all of our telephones were connected to the wall by a wire, at least for those of us who remember.
Yeah, but it's not the product that they were selling in this infomercial, but one of the actors on whom we are focusing this morning. Here's ABC's Danny New.
Is talking on the phone getting out of hand? Look out!
Maybe you've seen this classic 90s infomercial for a hands-free headset.
Then attach the phone relief headset. It's that easy.
It tends to go viral routinely on social media, with this posting reaching more than 20 million views. However, this one has a unique comment that might catch your eye. My brother and dad and I are in a text thread asking, is it her?
She passed away in 1999, so I felt like, 26 years later, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a God wink.
A must for the entire office. Work goes quicker and easier.
Vincent Bradis here believes this woman in the back of this office scene is his mother, Bonnie. When he was growing up in San Diego, she used to pick up little roles in TV, film, and commercials all the time, and he specifically recalls seeing her with that outfit.
My dad had a navy blazer, and I remember that as wardrobe in her, in the back seat.
Bonnie passed away after a 10-year battle with breast cancer in 1999, and Vincent still has his collection of all the little moments where his mother pops up in the background. Here she is in a teal dress on an episode of Heart to Heart as Stephanie Powers exits an elevator.
If you'd like to come with me.
And here's Bonnie appearing in the film My Blue Heaven, strutting in front of Rick Moranis and Joan Cusack. A move Vincent says she was not directed to do.
She pushed the envelope just far enough so that she could be seen in the scene.
A must for the entire office. Work goes quicker and easier.
But now Vincent has one more to add to this catalog. It might not be the biggest part in the world, but when Vincent thinks about how this video may just keep appearing on his feed from time to time.
For sure, every time I see it, I'm like, there's my mom, just gonna smile.
For the record, Vincent did a lot of research to conclude that's his mom, such as confirming that the commercial was indeed shot in their hometown of San Diego. I'm not sure, though, if that information cost him 4 easy payments of $19.95. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Should all buy that headset.
Yeah.
You said your dad was in the movie.
My dad is in one of the final scenes of the movie Bingo because he was working on the set and they said, let's get some extras in. So when I watch that movie, I get to see one little glimpse of my dad at the end.
I'm actively campaigning to be in a Hallmark movie. Jeremy, any ties to any film industry stuff?
I do not. I would love to be in a Hallmark movie, though, as well.
That'd be great. Let's get to our sidebar. question. How much would you pay to own an amusement park? About $55,000.
Sold.
This abandoned amusement park and resort in Newfoundland comes with everything: a shop, pool, train, Ferris wheel, and more. Way cheaper than a condo in Vancouver or Toronto.
Yeah, you could just live at the amusement
Looks like a bit of a fixer-upper.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
But we love a project.
Are all of the rides condemned?
That one looks like it might be fun. You said you would to the East Coast. There you go.
I would love to live on the East Coast.
The pool doesn't look like it. Has had something in a while.
Train tracks needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
All right, well, this popular Nigerian dish may one day be enjoyed in space. Melon seeds used to make egusi soup spent 7 days orbiting the Earth on the ISS. Scientists want to find out more about how the seeds react to conditions in space. The goal is to give it to astronauts and to give them more variety and better tasting options than that freeze-dried food we always see them eating.
Yum.
The seeds are now back on Earth for study.
Okay, there we go. One step closer to Mars, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is they're trying to accomplish.
Could you live on freeze-dried food, though?
I've never tried it, but I'll give it a go.
All right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Brings us to the end of the show for today.
Not great.
Thank you so much for being with us. If you missed something, you can catch it on our websites. We'll see you back here for Your Morning Saskatchewan on a Thursday.